We've reached the final part of the 2018 Trophy Awards. Feel free to go back and watch the top 10 hardest platinums and the top overall trophy list from the year if you wish, but now it's time to rank all of the easiest platinum trophies from games released in the past year. Also, because there are so many easy platinums, I got good news for you guys. I've decided to expand the list to 25 games. We'll dive in this in just a moment, but I want to take a moment just to explain how these titles are ranked. First, I got the list of games from you guys. I asked on Twitter and Discord. I then went to PSN profiles and looked up what the percentage of players who earned the platinum was. I ordered the games from highest to lowest, not by the percent listed on your PS4, but instead by the percent of tracked trophy hunters on that site, because their data is more relevant than some random people who don't care about trophies. Now, before we dive in, there are some easy AAA games that have no shot at making this list, and I do want to shout those out, and some of them are A Way Out, Far Cry 5, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Detroit Become Human, Ni no Kuni 2, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Let's kick things off with number 25, which is a game called Minute. It has nearly 47% completion on this Devolver Digital title that will just take a few hours to platinum, although the game forces you to play just 1 minute at a time to get through some of the clever puzzles. The trophies aren't just given to you freely like many other titles we'll see as we approach the opposite end of this list. Number 24 is hands down the best game on this list, one of the best of the year. It's Marvel's Spider-Man, sitting at a whopping 51% platinum completion rate. There's nothing more about this game I can say that hasn't already been said. The platinum in this is very straightforward and can be earned without having to look up a guide on YouTube, which contributes to its high percentage. I haven't done the math, but I bet this game alone has handed out more platinums than all of the rest combined. Number 23 is a game with over 54% platinum completion. This is Spyro the Dragon from the recently released trilogy, which included the 3 remakes of the original games. While each of the games are relatively easy, it's the first game in the trilogy that has achieved the highest number of platinum earners. I'm actually a little surprised at how common the platinum is, as I thought the treetops level and the flying levels would have kept the percentage a little lower. There are still a few gems left in this list, but expect the quality of the remaining games to start dropping rapidly. Number 22 is a game called Punchline, and it's a very strange Japanese visual novel that came to North America this year, and it has some trophies that require you to stare at panties, I guess. Uncomfortable underwear trophies aside, this is a very easy platinum that will take about 3 to 5 hours to complete if you want to be part of the 57% of players who've completed it. Number 21 is Cube 2. It's a first-person puzzle game that kind of reminds me a little bit of Portal. It does have a few missable trophies, but that hasn't stopped 58% of the people from platinuming this fairly lengthy game. Because it is a puzzle game, the biggest challenge is just trying to find a quality walkthrough to all the puzzle solutions. Puzzle games oftentimes lead to an easy platinum, and that is definitely the case here, and it will not be the last puzzle game we see. Number 20 is Reverie. This feels and looks like the original Legend of Zelda, and it can take 5 to 7 hours or longer to platinum, but that hasn't stopped nearly 69% of trophy hunters from getting the platinum. Most of the trophies will be tied to finding items or for getting all the collectibles. It does have a good story and fun exploration along with its 6 dungeons. This game originally came out on the Vita, remember that thing? Well, like many games on this list, it's cross-buy with separate trophy lists. Number 19 is Burly Men at Sea. This is a 2-hour platinum that was free on PlayStation Plus at one point. When a game is free, it always drops the percentage rate considerably as many people hop into it for just a little while before bailing, but this still maintains a very high platinum percentage of almost 70%. That is a crazy high number for a game with half its trophies being missable and needing to complete 12 playthroughs. Granted, the playthroughs only take about 10 minutes apiece. It requires that many playthroughs because of the branching story paths, and along the way, you're going to have to make different choices resulting in specific missable trophies. Number 18 is Telltale's Batman: The Enemy Within. This technically launched in 2017, but because of the episodic nature of this, the final episode along with the Platinum came out in 2018. This features the hallmark Telltale Platinum, where all you need to do is complete the game. This ended up being Telltale's final complete game before they went out of business. This has a 72% platinum rate, and that is actually insanely high for a Telltale game. The number is usually much lower than that because people tend to drop off and don't return after episode 1. While there was a drop off, it was far less than almost all other Telltale games. Only the remastered Season 1 of The Walking Dead and New Frontier top it on the PS4. Number 17 is Donut County. Lots of people really love this quick platinum game. It has a 73% completion. It takes between 1 to 3 hours to complete, depending how many levels you need to replay. There's some really easy puzzle elements, but the premise is as simple as the trophy list. You basically control a small hole, and the hole gets bigger every time you make the environment fall through it. There is a very small list of easy and quick platinum trophies that are also quality games, and this is one of them. Number 16 is TACOMA. This comes from the same person that made Gone Home, and this time they've actually included a platinum. While not as short as Gone Home, it can still be platinum in under an hour with a guide. Not surprising because it's relatively short, but it has almost a 77 platinum earned rate from trophy hunters. You can take your time and really explore the space station to dig more into the story. This ended up getting solid review scores, so if you're looking for another quick platinum, much like Donut County, you should definitely check this one out. Number 15 is Energy Invasion. This has a 78% completion, and I personally completed it in 2 hours and 25 minutes. It's made by the same people who also did such classics as Energy Cycle and Energy Balance. This is another easy platinum, but not quite as easy or quick as Energy Cycle. Energy Invasion is a very poorly done brick breaker game. This is probably the worst game to appear on this list so far, but I can promise that it won't be the worst. Since it is only a few dollars, most people only bought this simply for the platinum. Number 14 is Old Man's Journey, and no, it is not a story about my life, but it is the first game on this list to top 80% completion from trophy hunters. This is actually a pretty emotional storybook puzzle adventure game that you can platinum in 90 minutes. It's a point-and-click adventure game where you guide the old man by changing the environment to create new paths. There is no text or dialogue, but you will understand the game. There's not much challenge in the game, but since it is a puzzle game, you can always just follow a guide. Number 13 is Devious Dungeon. If you got a few hours, you can easily platinum this game, and 84% of trophy hunters have completed that task. This is one of those games that you could just play and not really worry about the trophies, as almost everyone who's completed the game has also earned all the trophies. If you like both classic looking platformers and an easy trophy list, then this game might be perfect for you. Number 12 is Inksplosion. This is our first sub 10-minute platinum on the list, clocking in at 8 minutes and 27 seconds for me personally. While your results may vary, you won't be spending too much time working through this relatively easy platinum. It's made by Petite Games. Petite Games have 2 other titles on this list, along with number 2 on last year's list, 36 Fragments of Midnight. They always release simple completions with Vita cross-buy, as well as numerous different regional releases, so you can always get 6 different platinums for each of their titles if you're that hungry for plats. Inksplosion has an 88 platinum percent. Number 11 is BB and Tina, Adventures with Horses, which also features an 88% platinum completion. This game will take closer to 2 hours, but it is quite simple. There are a bunch of collectibles that starts to feel a little tedious after a while, but once you finish that, you basically just have to ride a horse around and participate in some various events. This game is pretty much just an advertisement for a movie that is coming out, as the first thing you do when you start the game is watch a trailer for that movie. I'm clearly not the target audience. Entering into the top 10, we are starting with Phobos Vector Prime The First Ring. This has just a slightly higher 88% platinum completion than the previous 2. This actually only has 6 levels and is just the first part of what is supposed to be a larger story. It should only take you an hour or 2, but I'm a little surprised this has a high completion rate compared to the others on this list, because there are some parts that can be challenging because there's bullet hell and there are no checkpoints in each level. I have not personally played this, so maybe it's not as challenging as I believe it to be. Number 9 is TETRA'S Escape. This is the first title to reach over 90% of trophy hunters having earned the platinum. It's currently at 93%. This is just one relatively short puzzle game where you collect stars and trophies and create a path to an exit. Most of the levels are fairly simple, but there are some complex mechanics where you'll need to think about how to do them. Since this is a puzzle game, if you just want the Platinum Trophy, you can follow a guide which will tell you exactly how to pass each level, thus eliminating any challenge in completing the trophy list. Number 8 is One Word by Paugi. This is the third Paugi game and is also the easiest platinum of them all. One Word is basically a classic style word search puzzle. The words you are searching for are part of a famous quote. If you can't figure out what the quote is, you can simply Google it and figure out what the word you're looking for is. But if you're going to go that far, you might as well just pull up a guide that tells you what word you're looking for and where in the puzzle it is. You only need to complete 32 of the puzzles, and if you follow a guide, it can be done in half an hour, and then join the 95% of trophy hunters who have this platinum. Basically, from this point forward, the only people who are going to buy the remaining games are exclusively trophy hunters. They are all quick, cheap, and easy. Number 7 on our list is Little Adventure on the Prairie, and I have no problem labeling this as the worst game on the list. It might even be the worst game ever on the PS4. Mechanically, it's terrible. The levels are just the same patch of art pasted over and over, and they couldn't even bother with lining them up. I imagine a class of second grade students learning game design for the first time would have come up with a better game than this. As terrible as it is, 97% of the players made it to the platinum, and I imagine the other 3% threw themselves off a bridge. It can be completed in about 10 to 30 minutes, but I advise you to find a better use of your time. Number 6 is Midnight Deluxe. This is the second game by Petite Games to pop up in the list. This is kind of like a sequel to last year's 36 Fragments of Midnight with a different twist on the gameplay. It's more like golf, where you have to fling yourself into a hole in each level. Some of the later levels can get a little more difficult, but you only need to complete the first 40 levels, which are all really short, for a completion time of 30 minutes. This is only number 6 on the list, and it's got a 97.5% platinum completion rate amongst trophy hunters. This just goes to show you how easy many of the platinums were during 2018. Number 5 is Full Blast, with no spaces in the name for some reason. This game will take you between 13 and 14 minutes to complete if you select it on easy difficulty and don't play the Vita version, which will take you a little bit longer. You will have the platinum trophy after beating the 3rd stage, and that's before you even beat the game. It's a really easy vertical shooter, and on easy difficulty, I can't envision how anyone can possibly die without intentionally going out of their way. This, and the rest of the top 5, will have over 98% platinum completion. Now this game does get a little repetitive and boring fairly quickly, but thankfully you'll be in and out of this before you fall asleep. Number 4 is Super Destronaut DX. This is a game that I personally platinumed in just under 14 minutes. It's actually not a terrible game, and you might think it would be from a Space Invaders clone. It has a few different modes you'll need to play, as well as challenge mode. The game does feature co-op as well. It comes complete with leaderboards. These are features you don't typically find in easiest platinum type games. Now, did all those fancy features keep me playing the game after I platinumed it? No, but at least I found it fairly enjoyable. Number 3 is a game that did not come out in North America. Now, I know it goes against my own rules for the Trophy Awards, but it's wildly popular in Europe, and it's called Slide. The North American release date passed way back in April, and nothing has been said of it since. If you remember how the game called 1000 Top Rated got pulled from the store because it advertised quick platinums, well, this is basically a rebranding of it. My platinum time on this is 9 seconds. It's just one puzzle you have to complete, and the fact that you could have platinumed this in the time quicker than I can even talk about it shows just how ridiculous it is. Hopefully it does come to North America one day. This technically has a 98.53 platinum percentage, which is still only 3rd on this list. Number 2 is Storm Boy. This sits at 98.8 with a trophy list full of all gold trophies and a platinum. This is a very short story-driven narrative where all you do is walk for 15 minutes and complete a series of mini games. Surprisingly, I enjoy this very short experience and welcome anyone who wants a decent, cheap, and easy platinum to give this a go. It's actually the 2nd game on this list that ties its game to an upcoming movie. It's just a game about a boy who befriends a pelican. The easiest platinum trophy of 2018, as determined by the percentage of owners who have platinumed it, is Jack and Jill DX. This sits at 99.01% platinum completion. Even the PS4 percentage, which accounts for everybody and not just trophy hunters, the percent is over 95. You will spend 10 to 15 minutes at most to get this platinum. Just play through the first world, die once, and then collect 25 tickets in a minigame and then buy an item. That's it. If you can handle some basic platforming, this is simple. So that was the top 25 easiest platinums of the year. Let me know in the comments how many you've completed. I've only personally got about 13 of these. I want to thank everyone for your support in 2018. I wish everyone a happy new year, and I look forward to seeing what 2019 has in store for all of us.